Hey there, welcome back to Cooking with Violet Vixen. We are feeding our sweet tooth. It's time for cake. This one should be great. It is called banana chocolate cake. Here's what we need. There's a few ingredients, but it's one of these really easy ones where you basically just sift everything that's siftable. That's a word, siftable, I'm sure it is. Into a bowl. Chuck everything else in, mix it into the oven, let it cool, frost it, cut it, eat it, enjoy. All right, so come on in and I'll show you what we need. Okay, so first things first, you need a round cake pan, grease it and line it. Going to use this one. If you've got one that's got the flutes in it, go for that. It's just going to give it that bit more of a pretty shape to it. But if you don't, who cares? It's fine. Oven on to 180. You can probably do it a bit lower if it's not fan forced. So I'm just going to put mine maybe onto about 170 once we're ready to roll. We also need a bowl and a sieve. So I've got the one where the sieve fits over the bowl. And handy pink spatula. All right, ingredients wise, 1.5 cups of wholemeal self-raising flour. That is that one. 3/4 cup of self-raising flour. That's the white one. 2/3 cup of cocoa powder. 1/2 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. 1 cup of caster sugar. 2 eggs, which we're going to lightly beat. Do them one at a time in a cup, just in case there's any nasties in them. 2 large overripe bananas mashed. I haven't peeled and mashed them yet because I don't want them to go too ripe straight away. They're sitting over here hiding. So you'll also need a plate and a fork for when you get to that. Well, I only got 1 fork out, so I need another fork. 3/4 cup of buttermilk. With buttermilk, try and use the rest of the, what do you call it? Carton. That's a carton. Up for mashed potato. Or you can do a pancake recipe. Look, see, great for pancakes. So I always only buy the 600 ml, or I try and find a recipe fairly quickly before the use by date where I can use that up. But if you Google it, you'll find something else that uses buttermilk, or be nice and make 2 cakes. Then you should have enough. 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Vegetable oil or oil in a cake helps keep it moist, so it will last a few days, if it's going to last a few days. This one serves 8. And I'm actually taking it to work tomorrow for the girls, so they can have a bit of a sugar boost at lunchtime. The frosting will be 1.5 cups of icing sugar. That's there. Yep, that is that one there. 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. I'll have to measure that out. 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, which we're going to warm up. Okay. So as I say, it's fairly straightforward. I love cakes like this where they're quick mix into the oven. It is going to cook for 40 to 45 minutes. So that's perfect time to go and eat your dinner or do some chores and then come back, let it cool and then frost it. So oven's on 180. I'm going to just turn mine down to 170. Because it's not fan forced, it's a whatever it wants to be forced. Greased and lined our pan. Sift flours, so that is our wholemeal self-raising flour. Our self-raising flour. Our bicarb. And our cocoa. Okay. Get your handy pink spatula and give it a stir through. Now, don't stress at the end because with self-raising, with wholemeal flour, you've got the husks left over. Basically, all you do with the husks is you just put them in at the end. First time I used wholemeal flour, I can tell you a story because I vaguely remember it. I was thinking, how am I going to sift all this in? But it was before Google and all that, so I didn't really know what to do. But I think I did just put the husks in. It's mainly just to make sure that everything is actually sifted through. Alright. You can shake it. That's probably going to be a quicker way. It is a quicker way. No probablys about it. As you can see, the husks are getting bigger and bigger. And we've also got cocoa balls. That sounds very random. Don't really want unsifted cocoa, so try and push that through if you can. Just go like that. And then just toss it in at the end because you go stuff it. Alright. Wash hands. Alrighty. After we've done that, normally I like to start and move things out of the way, but I'll just move them to the side so they're not in the way. Okay, so I don't need the icing sugar just yet. I'll need that soon. Okay, so we're going to make a well in the middle. Handy pink spatula, where'd you go? Handy pink spatula went and got in the sink, silly bug. Oh, this is why I should wear my apron. Alright, make a well in the centre. Into the centre, add the oil. Combine eggs, banana, buttermilk, and oil in a jug. Well, if you ask me, they're going into the biggest jug. Oil, buttermilk, eggs and banana. So with the eggs, crack one at a time. In there, just give it a whip. Normally I like to stir everything in one at a time, but because I haven't made it all up into a well or in a jug together, I'm doing this differently. I just like to make sure that I get no shell in there or no red eggs. Never had, touch wood, I've never had a red egg on an episode, but I have had a red egg, not on an episode. Where's my chucks? There it is. Alright, I'm just going to give this area a bit of a wipe down. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is mush our bananas. Give our bananas a bit of a mush. Okay, so bring our plate over. My compost bin bucket is very full, which is good because the worms will be happy. It can make me some more compost before winter. Okay, so on this little plate here that you can see, I'm going to pop one banana at a time. Just make sure you got no banana string on it. I've just got to, probably going to have to run that down to the bin. Alright, while it's not raining. Weird weather. Alright, in goes banana 1, B1 and B2. They're not wearing pajamas, sorry. Alright, here goes the second one. Alright. Bananas, when you cook banana cake, you want the riper bananas. But keep in mind, when they're really ripe, you seem to get more string on them. But these are at a perfect consistency. When did I get these? I got these a week ago. I leave my bananas out. And when they get too frozen, I peel them and put them in the freezer. And then they're really great for smoothies because when they're cold, they whip up better. All right. That should look like that. Whip it gently. I've already had a flour storm all over the kitchen, all over my jacket. That's it. Give it a good stir. I'm looking forward to cake. I think my sweet tooth's out a little bit today. I made a coffee and I decided to put a bit of chocolate or cocoa in it. So I made it into a mocha. Alright. You want to make sure that all the ingredients, you basically can't see flour. And how do you know? Not flour, flour. That's how you know. Alright. It's a pretty thick batter, you know. This almost looks like a brownie. Yum. It's been a while since I've made brownies. Maybe I can make brownies next week. I might do a special episode next week because next week's an off week, but it's Easter and I'm cooking over Easter. So I might do a special recipe leading up to Easter. Alright, bring over your pan. Tip that in carefully. Alright, smooth it out. It is a very thick cake mix. Normally cake mix, I forgot to put the sugar in it. I have done this once before, I swear. I forgot to add the sugar. I seriously did this a long time ago. Don't be tired and cook. Alright, there's no sugar in it. It's all good. That's the caster sugar. Wow. Can you believe that? I don't think it's going to make much difference. Oh, it's making it a little bit. It's probably just going to make it sweeter. Whew. I did do this many, many years ago. I made a recipe for someone and I remember I left something out. And I think it was sugar. And it was awful without sugar. It tasted awful what was on my finger without sugar just then too. Okay, and I was reading my recipe as I was filming as well just then. Okay, look, that's given it a bit more of a consistency there. Holy potatoes. I'm very easy distracted lately. You have no idea. Alright, that looks better already. Who would have thought sugar caused that? Alright, jam it back in for the second time. I've definitely got everything in now. Wow, how awkward. See, I could just delete that and start again, but I'm not going to. Just goes to show no one's perfect. I caught it before it went in the oven. That's the main thing. Look at that. That's so much more of a consistency with just sugar added to it. That's what sugar does. Makes everything taste better. Okay. So, I'm just going to go through this for my peace of mind now. Sift flours, cocoa, bicarb, add sugar, eggs, banana, buttermilk, and oil. Okay, in we go for 40 to 45, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so I gave it half an hour, and then I had to check it, and I needed to redo it again. So it had another 10 minutes, and it seems okay. So I'm going to let it cool, and then we'll frost it. Okay, so I'm just going to pop it onto the wire rack so it can cool. So the best way to do that is to actually turn it upside down on the wire rack. Remove your baking tray. Take your paper off. Now I realise it's sitting upside down. I've got to flip it. So what I'm going to do is quickly onto a plate. I was going to say I was going to flip the cake onto a cake. That's a different way of doing it. So go like this. Go like this. And then slide. Whew. Cakes, when they're hot, they're very hard to be sliding. Alright, now it is setting. Okay, so leave it cool for a while. There's nothing worse than trying to ice a cake when it's still hot. Your frosting just goes everywhere. So I'll see you in a little while, and then we'll frost it. Okay, we're back. We're ready to frost. So let's roll. So I'm just going to push the cake over there. You need a jug or a bowl and another sieve. We're sifting a lot tonight. In goes your icing sugar. Don't do as much as I just did then. I sort of forget how big this sieve is. I think I need the biggest sieve in the world and the biggest bowl in the world, and then it'll be easier. That's why I do like the bowl with the sieve over the top. But unfortunately, they're still drying up. I'm not drying up. I'll wash, but I won't dry up. And I don't have a dishwasher. I am the dishwasher. So the easiest way with this is to just do it slowly. A lot of recipes tell you to sift your icing sugar. Some don't. I think all it does is it just makes it a little bit smoother. I know with when you do it with the flour, it makes it sort of lighter and fluffier when you make your cake. So I don't know about the other reason though, sorry. Icing sugar really doesn't like this sieve. Okay, come on. that just fell. Alright, a bit more. Come on. Now with the milk, I just did the 3 tablespoons. I've just heated that for 30 seconds in the microwave so it's warm. And the only other thing we've got to get is 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. So I might get that now. Well, once we get this done. The easiest way to do this is to either get your handy pink spatula or a spoon and just brush it through. It's so painful. It'll be worth it when you're eating cake though. Just remember that. Alright, last lot. Got quite a bit to clean up on my bench too. Alright, we'll get the 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder into it as well. Might make it a bit easier. Alright, nearly done. The leftover just chuck in. Alright, here we go. In goes our hot milk. Give it a good stir. Stirry, stirry, stirry. Alright. So you can use 2 to 3 tablespoons of icing sugar. Obviously, the more, milk. The more milk, the thinner the frosting. Like I've got here. But it will set, so it's all good. Alright. It is a very thin frosting. So I'm just going to put it in the middle. Drizzle it over. Here we go. Alright. Just keep drizzling it over. Alright, this has been Cooking with Violet Vixen Banana Chocolate Cake. I hope you enjoy this one. I'll catch you on the next adventure. Bye!